I'm going to teach you how to make fish with tofu. So get all the stuff you need. Siyempre, tawag natin fish with tofu. So obviously, we need fish. So ayan. For today, we'll use lapu-lapu from fish stock. Ayan. I prefer to use fish stock because laging fresh. So it enhances the flavor. Okay. Here we go. So right now what I'm gonna do is cut the fish. But first, para pag piniprito na siya, hindi siya tatalsik, ipapat dry natin siya. Para lang matuyo. Okay. So right now you'd wanna slice it appropriately to how many people you're going to serve this to, which is about this size. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Right now we're gonna marinate the fish with black pepper, salt, and some lemon juice. If you don't have any lemons, you can actually just use calamansi, which I would advise that you use too. So after marinating the fish, just to let it sit for a while, we'll work on the sauce. And the thing is, you don't really need to do it in a specific way. All you need to do is just put everything in a bowl and then mix. So that's a teaspoon of soy sauce. Rice wine. Sugar, and lastly the cornstarch. After which, just give it a good stir. Notice that this becomes cloudy. Alright. Now that that's out of the way, what we'll want to, oh I'm sorry, I forgot. The shrimp cube. Sorry about that. Half a shrimp cube. Okay. Don't want to crush that, so it's not just one clump when you put it in together with everything else. Okay. Now we'll start working on the vegetables that we need to use. So now we're gonna peel the carrots. After peeling, just cut them up in any way you want to. After the carrots, we just chop everything else. Then we have garlic. Leek. Bell pepper. The baby corn. And the ginger. Yeah. Running out of space. Now, if you're like me, who doesn't really enjoy the taste of ginger, you can cut it up really small, just so you don't taste the full flavor of the ginger. And lastly, the snow peas. May want to try cutting them in half. Okay. So these are all the vegetables that we'll be using for the fish and tofu. Now, on to preparing it. So what we're going to do now is we're gonna saute vegetables. Right now, I'm using peanut oil, but since peanut oil is pretty expensive, any kind of oil will do. Vegetable oil, or if you feel like using corn oil, or any kind of oil you can get your hands on. You put in the ginger. Here. The trick here is not to let the ginger get too brown. After which, we put the garlic, which is this. Next are the onions. After the onions, we cook the baby corn. We have more carrots. So right now I'm adding the snow peas as well. Then the leeks along with the bell peppers. The idea here is to get it just crisp and not overcooked so that it's not soggy. Okay, when you're done, set it aside. Okay. Now, we'll be working on the fish. Let's get this going. Oh, it's the peanut oil again. But then again, you can use whatever oil you want. While the oil is heating, we'll dress our fish with some flour. You don't need a lot. It's just to get the fish a little more cooked before we add it in with the vegetables. Okay, in goes the fish. So the trick here is you're not supposed to really cook it like it's pinrito. Just enough to get it like this, as you can see here. And you got it just right, like it is here. Actually gonna leave this alone for a little while. So now we're gonna add the sauce to our vegetables. Now we just let that simmer. Back to the fish. Right now the fish is just perfect. Sinisigurado ko lang na tama ang nangyayari dito sa vegetables natin. The thing that the cornstarch is actually going to do is that it's supposed to thicken the sauce. Of course, it really depends on your tastes. The thickness, the way it is right now, is actually more or less the way it's supposed to be. Yan na. Hindi na siya you know, medyo malapot na siya. Right? Okay. Now, we add the fish. Okay. So, now we go to the last two ingredients that we'll be using, which are mushrooms and of course tofu. Mix it in with everything else. Then the mushrooms. And it's good to go. So now we have the rice. Then just put it over that. We'll want a little more fish. And of course the tofu. Don't that look appetizing?